Stephen Hawking was born on January 8, 1942 in Oxford City, 300 years after Galileo's death. His family endured the equator of World War II, so much so that for 2 years a German rocket flew a few dozen meters from his home in Highgate, north of London. High school, Hawking entered the University College of Oxford, where he graduated in 1962 with the titles of mathematician and physicist. The eldest of Frank and Isabel Hawking's 4 children, Stephen Hawking was born into a family of thinkers. His Scottish mother earned her way into Oxford University in 1930, a time when few women were able to go to college. His father, another Oxford graduate, was a respected medical researcher with a specialty in tropical diseases. Stephen Hawking's birth came at an inopportune time for his parents, who didn't have much money. The political climate was as tense as England was dealing with World War II and the onslaught of German bombs. In an effort to seek a safer place, Isabel returned to Oxford to have the couple's first child. The Hawkins would go on to have 2 other children. The Hawkins, as one close family friend described them, were an eccentric bunch. Dinner was often eaten in silence. Each of the Hawkins intently reading a book. The family car was an old London taxi, and their home is in Street Albans was a 3-story fixer-upper that never quite got fixed. The Hawkins also housed bees in the basement and produced fireworks in the greenhouse. In 1950, Hawking's father took work to manage the division of parasitology at the National Institute of Medical Research and spent the winter months in Africa doing research. He wanted his eldest child to go into medicine. At an early age, Hawking showed a passion for science and the sky. That was evident to this mother, who, along with her children, often stretched out in the backyard on summer evenings to stay up at the stars. Stephen always had a strong sense of wonder, she remembered. Hawking was also frequently on the go. With his sister Mary, Hawking, who loved to climb the bees, different entry roads into the family home. He loved to dance and also took an interest in rowing. But in 1963, in an ice skating session, young Stephen slipped and had difficulty getting up. He was immediately diagnosed with a degenerative neuromuscular disorder, ALS or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. The life expectancy at that time for Stephen was few years, but the doctors were wrong. And naturally, Stephen's life was not the same thereafter, but his physical limitation did not interrupt this intellectual activity at any time. In fact, they increased it. In October 1962, he had begun his PhD studies at Trinity Hall in Cambridge. He wanted to work with Fred Hoyle, but the request was denied. Then, ironically, Hawking himself bought discrete Hoyle's theory of steady state with his discovery of microwave background radiation in 1965. For that same year, he married Jane Wayline, with whom he had 3 children.
After obtaining the title of Doctor in Theoretical Physics, his passion for the study of the origin of the universe was increasing, and his research focused on the field of general relativity, particularly in the physics of black holes, described for the first time by Robert Oppenheimer in 1939. Hawking spent his whole life to researching the laws that govern the universe. Many of his works revolve around black holes. A black hole is a region of space with a quantity of concentrated mass so large that there is no possibility of a nearby object escaping its gravitational attraction. Together with Roger Penrose, he showed that Einstein's general theory of relativity implies that space and time have had a beginning in the Big Bang and an end with black holes. Such results point to the need to unify general relativity with quantum theory, another great scientific development of the first half of the 20th century. One part of the unification he discovered was that the black holes were not totally black, but also radiate and eventually evaporate and disappear. According to Hawking, the effects of quantum physics make black holes shine like hot bodies. Hence, they lost some of their blackness. In 1976, following the enunciation of quantum physics, he concluded in his radiation theory that black holes are capable of emitting energy, losing matter, and even disappearing. Hawking said that black holes could expire in a burst of energy equivalent to 1 million megatons of hydrogen bombs. Therefore, when the Large Hadron Collider was inaugurated in 2008 outside of Geneva, a high expectation was generated that the particle accelerator could create microscopic black holes and thus test Hawking's ideas. If so, the breakthrough certainly would have received the Nobel Prize, but the LHC has not gotten such a test. Nowadays, science is studying gravitational waves, and it is an irrefutable fact that conjectures made by Hawking can be verified in the near future. Hawking was the first scientist to find a relationship between general relativity, quantum mechanics, and thermodynamics, with his conjecture of radiation of black holes. This was his most celebrated and recognized contribution in the world of science. Hawking finally died on March 14, 2018.